All right, welcome in, hockey fans in the Desert Southwest. An early morning here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as we prepare for a red, white, black, what do we call this? It's UNLV Rebel Hockey for an hour on Hockey Talk in the Desert Southwest. Looking forward to this for a long time. This roster is built for speed, for talent, and for scoring, goaltending. What have I missed, right? Defense. So we're going to be talking Rebel hockey all day long here in Las Vegas from beautiful City National Arena as the Rebels go through a little conditioning, a little tryout camp, putting the roster together. Anthony VIGNIERI Greenener, the head coach, is going to join me. Nick ROBONE, the assistant coach, is going to join me. And I understand we're going to have a special guest player coming in too. So stay tuned for us for a full hour of Rebel Talk. All right, welcome back in, hockey fans in the Desert Southwest. It's another Hockey Talk in the Desert Southwest. I think we're about episode 7 or 8. I finally got up to Vegas. It's a red, black, scarlet, gray, scarlet, whatever we can do, but it's all Rebel Hockey Talk. The head coach is with me, Anthony VIGNIERI Greenener. How are you? How was your summer?
Summer was great. Got to recharge the batteries, vacationed a lot, and hung out. Yeah, it was good. We recruited. Then we went on vacation, we vacationed some more, and now we're ready to go.
Nothing like having a little vacation time, but I know you're itching to get back on the ice as well. I think I know you well enough to know that this is where you like it. You're comfortable here. I just watched a little bit of your practice. I saw some guys. I saw a lot of guys, as a matter of fact, on the ice. So competition's always good, I'm guessing, from the head coach's standpoint.
Yeah, competition is huge. So we got a good group of returning guys, plus we recruited 16 new guys. And then we had 20 guys try to walk on and make the team today. So competition, it breeds, competition in practice. So that's something we're looking forward to.
So as we look back, this is year 5 for us. You guys have been together now for what, 4 or 5 years? You and Nick and Z and
our 5th season.
Yeah. So we're about the same boat. And I look back and I go, man, I cannot believe how hockey has exploded, not only in Vegas, but all over the Desert Southwest. Yeah. And not only exploded, but the competition has gotten better and better. Your thoughts?
It's unbelievable to see. I was just talking to a couple of the news anchors here, and it starts with the youth. They had 500 new kids sign up for hockey here in Vegas. We've seen it in Arizona, we've seen it in California, and now it's happening in Nevada. So you come to the rink and there's no ice time during the day because all the youth teams have it, which is great to see. And now we're building a rink out in Henderson. So, and then they already have plans to build another one down the road. So that's what we want as hockey people. That's what you want to see.
Absolutely. And when I look at the schedule this year, and it's really fun for me because we got Grand Canyon coming in as a D1 team now. So we've got you guys as an independent, Grand Canyon coming in. ASU's going to be better than they were the past year or two with their new coach now in his 2nd year. And then you look at U of A, which made a national tournament along with you guys last year. How important is having good competition in your own backyard to building your program?
Yeah, it just saves us on travel. Our neighbors, we can go down the road now and play a competitive game in the top 10 with U of A. ASU is always in the top 20, and then I'm interested to see what Grand Canyon brings to the table this year. I know the first year is going to be kind of tough, but we went through it. Every team does, and Danny's got a good head on his shoulders, so I'm sure he'll be fine. But to have a partner like U of A and ASU right next to us, you can't ask for much more.
What does that mean? Now, you've been to national tournaments a couple of times, and you know what it's like out there, and you look at who you play locally. How does that compare with the rest of the teams in ACHA D1? Where do you stand?
That's something that I think we do a good job on. We travel well, so we kind of see a variety of teams throughout the year. We're in Ohio or we're in Chicago playing different teams. We always go to Minot, so we're kind of prepping for playing teams at the national tournament, where other teams kind of just stay within their area and then it's crapshoot who they play. Obviously, it hasn't panned out for us very well, so hopefully this year we do a better job. My main goal this year is the team we put on the ice here in the next week is the team I want to take to nationals. So barring any injuries, but I want to make sure everything's handled in school. Our culture is better here. We're stressing that. Nick and I are stressing that huge this year. I want a kid that's going to be good on the ice, but off the ice as well.
I know you guys pattern your program after what Greg Powers did down at ASU and moving up from a national championship at the ACHA level to an NCAA level. So you kind of got that mentality, right, to make it almost NCAA level as far as a student athlete here?
Yeah, they're treated just like they were a Division I athlete, how they're treated off the ice, on the ice, what they get apparel-wise, equipment-wise for that end. For the other cards that fall into place, I'm going to let all the business people handle that.
Yeah.
I want to win at this level right now. I want a national championship at the ACHA division, and then whatever happens, in the next couple years, happens. But right now, let's win right now and let the cards fall into place on the business side of things. And we have good people in our corner that are working to strive towards that goal.
When I talked to Coach Powers about his team this year in the NCAA level, last year when I talked to him, he said, I finally have an NCAA roster. I used all my scholarships. Everybody here is an NCAA caliber player. This year, he told me, now I've got an NCAA roster, but I've got depth. So there's competition at every level. I'm guessing that's the same thing you feel here, but just looking at the sheer numbers you have out there, you're going to have depth this year that you maybe haven't had in the years past.
Yeah, that's the depth is key. We've preached on that a couple years ago when I was saying that was the one step that we needed to take was we have 2-3 lines, but our fourth line kind of lacks in areas, or 5-6D or whatever it is. But depth, like you said, it will bring competition in practice, and it builds winners, and that's what we need here. But ASU, yeah, he's going to have a hell of a year.
So when we look at hockey at any level as a coach, right, you want to have that depth because, and I mentioned this to Coach Powers as well, I said, your first and second lines are going to hold their own with anybody in NCAA hockey, but you're going to win games with your third and fourth lines and your specialty teams. I'm going to say that this is probably what you want to do as well.
Yeah, just like you said, your top six are going to be very compatible with the other team's top six. It's your third and fourth line or your 5-6D is going to make the difference. So if you have a fourth line you feel comfortable to put on the ice at any moment, if it's 2 minutes left in the game or the first shift of the game, things are looking good for you. Where you're kind of iffy, it's like, your fourth line's on the ice. I don't have that problem here, especially at the forward and D level for this year. We have tons of guys, and our fifth line guy that's not going to be in the lineup, he definitely could play on our third line this year.
All right, let's take a quick break. Let's come back and talk to the coach about the schedule because, as always, you have a very formidable schedule. You're going to be doing a lot of traveling. You're going to be playing a lot of games at home. But let's talk specifically about that in just a minute.
Like a pro, post-game like a champion at College Bar and Grill. Located across the street from the iconic A Mountain and Sun Devil Stadium and a quick walk from Wells Fargo Arena, College Bar and Grill is your home for the best local craft beer, delicious creative cocktails, tasty food, and Tempe's best atmosphere for Arizona State athletics. College Bar and Grill. Pre-game like a pro, post-game like a champion. Online at ilovecollege.co.
All right, we're back. Hockey fans in the Desert Southwest. I've got the coach with me again. One more time, Anthony VIGNIERI Greener is sitting with me here in this beautiful City National Arena locker room. And I can see the smile on your face because every time I come in here, this place changes. I was joking across the rink with a couple of people. I looked out there, and it's black and gold. It says Vegas Golden Knights everywhere. But this is also the home of the Rebels, correct?
Yeah, home of the Rebels, and they did us a good job. They numbered the seats. We got a new seat system, so fans will be able to pick their seat before they get in. So they're really making upgrades not only just to help the Knights, but also to help the UNLV program.
And as I look around the locker room that we're sitting in, it doesn't hurt to have black, white, and some red benches here either to get the guys excited about UNLV hockey, right?
No, I think they knew what they were doing, a little added bonus, so we thank the rink for that one.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the schedule. As usual, you guys put together a very formidable schedule. Talk a little bit about when you saw that all come together, and Z-Con does a great job of doing that for you, but what do you think of the schedule as opposed to schedules in years past?
I like the schedule again. Z does a good job. We kind of just sit and put our heads together of what we're thinking. Nick and I kind of have the same mentality as Z is. We want to play the best teams possible. You want to play in that. The strength of schedule really helps in this league. So if you're playing the best and you're competing every night, it's only going to help you in the long run. So he did a good job putting together the schedule again. We're home heavy this year for the first time in the 5 years I've been here, which is going to be, it's easier on the body for the kids. There's a couple times we're on the road 3 weeks in a row, flight trips, so you fly out on a Wednesday and get home Monday, and then you're back on a flight on Wednesday. So I think playing at home is definitely an advantage for us as well, just with the atmosphere here in the building.
Just going to say, it doesn't hurt to have some about 1,000+ screaming fans for your team to get the guys motivated at least, right?
Not at all. You got 1,000. Sometimes we'll pack this place and get 1,500 people in this building. So you get a place like that and you score the first goal. This place goes nuts.
All right, so when you looked at the schedule, were there things on there that you circled and said, hey, these are must-win games, these are games that we have to win, or you just want to win them all?
I want to win them all, of course. That's our intentions. One of the things I circled right away, Wade always puts together a good team. We just can't figure a way to win at Minot. So that's a huge goal for us this year. We're going to do extra film or whatever we have to do, but win there, and then obviously again defend our championship in the Chicago Showcase.
Yeah.
Last year was our first year going. We won the Showcase, played a great team in Illinois and a couple other teams, and this year, looking to go back and have a good tournament. And Fab's put on a great Showcase.
When I look back, and I mentioned to your assistant coach Nick too, I said, it seems kind of bittersweet for you guys, right? Because you won a championship, you started fast last year, you played really well, and I looked like you guys kind of mirrored the Golden Knights in the fact that at the end of the season, it looked to me like every Knights player that I talked to was ready to get back on the ice after that San Jose series immediately. Yeah. I think you guys wanted to get back on the ice too and redeem yourself or whatever for the national tournament. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, 1,000%. I know the kids needed a rest or whatever, and I'm huge on family time to recharge the batteries. But after 2 weeks, kids were already getting back on the ice practicing, when they didn't have to. But like you said, the key word's redemption there. Like I said earlier, the team that we put on the ice here in the next week is a team I want to take to nationals. So I want my whole 12 guys that are starting, I want my best lineup going forward to play at nationals. And we haven't had that in the past years. And nothing against our bottom end guys. They did a hell of a job. We made a little run, but I want our best team possible playing here at nationals.
All right. I also want to mention the growth of your program and the fact that Cody Williams signed a professional contract. Yeah. What does that say about not only hockey and Vegas, being a Vegas kid, but also about the strength of your program that you could produce a player that can go sign a contract and play overseas? How important is that?
Well, it feels great for the program, but then again, Cody did it himself. He's a great player. He works hard on and off the ice. He was a good leader for us last year, so I'm excited to see what he does over the next year. He's following the footsteps of, we had a couple other kids play overseas, Dion Phaneuf, Dion.
That would be nice if you had Dion. If you had him, you wouldn't have let him go, would you?
No, maybe. Dion Antonsen, and then Jesse went and played in Sweden halfway through the year last year. So, but I'm excited for Cody. I just talked to him 2 days ago. He was making the drive to KC to say hi to his family there, and then he was flying overseas.
So, you also had a couple of guys, or at least one guy I know, that jumped up to the NCAA level from here. So talk about the bittersweetness of that. You lose a kid, but you watch him have success.
Yeah, his team went on an unbelievable run last year. I love Easy. He's a great kid and probably one of the most skilled and smartest hockey players I've ever seen play the game at all levels. Nothing but good things to say about Easy. I talked to him,
I love Easy, but tell everybody else who it is.
Elijah Barriga. But he's a great kid, man. He's one of the kind. I like Easy.
All right, let's take another quick break, and then let's finish up with you talking about the guys that are on the ice, and if anybody stood out right now or who you think is going to lead this program for the 2019-2020 season. Be right back.
Hey, Michael here from M-Drive. My dad, a world-class scientist, actually made M-Drive for himself to stay active and continue enjoying life. And yes, M-Drive supports healthy testosterone, but it's so much more. M-Drive is the everyday supplement to fuel your drive with more energy and more strength. Listen, we'd love for you to try M-Drive too. Visit mdriveformen.com and we'll give you 20% off your first purchase. Just type in the code DRIVE at checkout. Refine your prime with M-Drive.
All right, welcome back in, hockey fans. I promise we're still here in Vegas. What a great sight. Every time I walk into City National Arena, there's something new. I'm not surprised that Bill Foley would do what he does. But man, this place it's like the Taj Mahal of arenas as far as, I know it's a practice facility, but it's a game facility for you guys. Yeah. And I know that you really appreciate the fact that the Golden Knights are here to support UNLV Hockey as well and the community. But let's talk a little bit about the guys on the ice. You had a chance to see some guys now. You've seen a lot on paper. You've seen some tape while you're recruiting. Who stands out to you right now as the leader of this team or the leaders of this team?
The leaders, we got a good core group coming back. Boz, Eric Williams, Sean Plonsky, Tristan Mayer, Jake Sachs, the leaders that have been here for a long time. Then we got sophomores like Jared Turcotte and Pax Malone. They're going to lead the way up front. Swede's going to be a net for us. So our core group is good. And then let's talk about the kids that we recruited over the year. Brendan Manning's really stood up today. Had a really good first day of camp. Nick Flanders, again, another good forward, shifty little guy that's has a knack for scoring, plays bigger than he is. And then the D end, Jake Berry and Hunter Mazzullo really stood out today. So I'm really excited to see when we put it all together and put our lines together on the board, and I'm excited to see what we have.
All right. For those that don't know, Jake Sachs suffered a really bad injury last year up in Minot.
Yeah.
And there were times when I think we all guessed, is this the end for Jake? He's not going to want to play again. Guess what? I just saw that big smile through the door a minute ago when he was here. I was pleasantly surprised because he's one of my favorite players to watch, I got to admit.
Yeah, no, Saxy he's probably the fastest kid that you're going to find here, one of the faster ones in this league. He's a good kid. I'm hoping to and excited for him to get back on the ice and just get back to just a normal life, because I know he went through some problems with his head and whatnot. So once he clears all of his tests, and which he seemed, they checked him this morning, he passed all the bare minimum stuff for now before contact, because today was no contact. But I'm excited for him just to get going and get back in the lineup.
He means so much to your team, not only because of the grit he brings, but his pure skill level. You mentioned his speed, but he's got great hands as well, right?
Yeah, he again, he's just a natural scorer, and you can use him on the wing, you can play him in the middle, and then he's a leadership. He is an assistant captain last year, and he'll bark when he needs to bark, and he'll lead when he needs to lead. So that's something to see, and I look forward to having him back in the lineup.
I talked to Jeremy Roenick a little while ago, and I was, as we were doing the interview, I said, every time I see an athlete go down with an injury, I think of you playing with your broken jaw. And I said, how difficult was that? He told me, he said, it wasn't difficult, and I'll tell you why. And I said, what's that? And he said, because pain is temporary, pride is forever. And I have pride to play the game. That saying is going to stick with me forever, but who exemplifies that more than Jake Sachs?
Not a lot. You got JR, the guy from the top preaching that, and that is, you keep preaching that to kids like that, and it means, really means a lot. So I took that one to heart. That's a good little line there.
All right, so as we look at this roster going forward, what do you think the strength is going to be this year? You try to have depth all the way across the board, but usually something jumps out at you. Are you going to score more goals or prevent more goals?
No, obviously, our same offense, we're going to run the same system we have. We're kind of just get up and go north and south. We recruited bigger, so we got a few bigger kids in the lineup this year. Normally we have a smaller team. It's kind of tough when you play a team like U of A where every kid's average 6 foot tall. Yeah. But we went and got bigger up front, got 2 bigger D-men. But again, we're going to stick with our same style. We're not going to change for anything. Go north and south with the puck. Try to score as many goals as we can.
And that's a big difference between ACHA D2 and D1, right? Is the size. The players are not only more skilled, but they're more physical, aren't they?
Oh, physical, and then the speed aspect. I remember the first time sitting upstairs when we watched our camp, I'm like, whoa, when our first team put our team together, I'm like, this is a lot better team than we had last year. And it's the speed, and then again, speed comes with size mainly, and there's some big boys in this league.
A couple of years ago, when you're doing your first camp here at City National, I was up there with you watching that, and you guys are oohing and on about how fast the guys were. Yeah. And they've gotten faster over the last 2 seasons, haven't they?
Oh yeah, you look at a guy like Paxton. I thought that 3 years ago that kids were fast, and he's got Paxton and Sachs, going at it. And then this year we got Manning, and so it's only getting faster.
All right, let's wrap things up with you. I know you got things to do, so let's talk just a little bit about your summer. You talked about your vacations, but it was a tough summer personally for your family. I know Gramps passed away, and you lost your grandma as well, but Gramps means so much to UNLV Hockey. I had a chance to visit him a couple different times. Yeah. We saw him. I know how much he loved Keno and loved to play the slots a little bit here and there, but more pride was that scarlet and gray that he put on every game day, didn't he? Yeah,
Gramps is my hero. He was, since I was a kid, he was always there. Never missed a road trip game. If I played juniors, he was there. If I was a midget, he was there no matter what. And then when I started playing at UNLV, when I came back after the injury, he was always there and never left and kind of helped any kid that needed, and he was just always like that. So that was a tough month. They're in a better place. Both my grandma and grandpa, they meant a lot to me. They still do, and I'll hold them forever in my heart.
And I know that they're going to be watching down on this program, especially Gramps, because he was very prideful of what you did and what you put on the ice. And I think he got a, what are we going to call it, a seventh man watching over this roster this year?
That would be huge, yeah. No, I definitely, I'm big into that after losing my brother. I see signs all the time, and I definitely, he'll be here more than we think.
All right, Anthony VIGNIERI Greener, look forward to a great season. We're going to be back up here in a couple of weeks and see how things have gone after that first scrimmage gets out of the way. All right. So we'll visit again, and then we'll talk a little bit more about just the development of the program and how things are going.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for stepping in. All right, welcome in, hockey fans in the Desert Southwest. You probably know this guy. He doesn't need much of an introduction, but Nick ROBONE, the assistant coach here at UNLV, is with me. And Nick, first of all, welcome in, and how are things?
Things are good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You know, we do Hockey Talk now. We're doing one every week, 50 weeks a year, spending an hour with different people talking hockey. This happens to be UNLV week. We're going to be back in 2 weeks and do a little UNLV Golden Knight stuff, but I'm excited. Are you excited for this roster?
Yeah, we're definitely excited. You know, we really like the guys that we have coming back. And then obviously, you know, we bring in 15 new players again this year. And I think that for us, it's all about just finding a way to mesh the guys and get them, you know, a little bit closer off the ice. But Anthony and I are definitely very excited.
Okay, so you got a whole roster of guys. When I came in and I saw the number of guys on the ice right now, that's saying something about your program, right? You got guys that want to be out here, that want to be competing. It can only mean good things, correct?
Definitely. You know, we're really excited about obviously the growth in our program, but also the growth of hockey in the city. And, you know, we have a lot of players that I actually grew up coaching at the Bantam and midget level, and same with Anthony, that are getting older and staying in Vegas, and, you know, they want to come out and they want to be a part of our program. So it's great to see that, and we're very fortunate to have a lot of guys that were out here for tryouts today.
You know, I tell this, and I ask this question, I should say, to most people that I talk to, but over the 5 years, this is year 5 for us. And as I look into things and I go, I want to see this boom out here in the West, but nothing like Vegas, right? I mean, it's gone absolutely crazy. You got 2 new rinks coming in Henderson now. What's it been like? Is it kind of surreal still, or have you guys accepted the fact that this is just a hockey town?
It's a bit surreal from my standpoint, just because I've been involved with the game for so long here. You never would have expected it to kind of explode like it has. But the rink in Henderson is definitely crucial. There's 30% of youth hockey players that travel in from Henderson to come to the 3 rinks, whether it be here at City National, the Ice Center, or Fiesta over in North Las Vegas. So I think that was definitely a much needed thing. And then it also helps just growing the game and with the outreach of you know, finding new players in Henderson. So overall, I mean, it's only going to get better here, and I think we're really excited to see what kind of talent the city can produce.
You know, when I look back at last season, right, for both you and the Golden Knights, I don't think I've ever seen 2 teams as bittersweet seasons. The Golden Knights started off, of course, without Nate Schmidt, and then they ended the season at that dramatic loss in the first round of the Sharks. But when I saw the guys afterwards, they were ready to get back into camp and get out there. And I think it's kind of the same way for you guys, if I'm reading this right, because you won a tournament, right? You got to the national tournament. You didn't finish it the way you wanted to. And it looked like you guys, coaching staff, players, everybody wanted to go back and redeem themselves the next week if they could have.
We're really excited, obviously, for this upcoming season. At the same time, you know, we definitely have a bit of a chip on our shoulder. This is our 3rd year at ACHA D1, and the last 2 years we've made the tournament. You know, you win that first game, and then unfortunately we get bounced in the second game in a close game to Ohio for the 2nd year in a row. And, you know, for us, we're ready to take that next step in the tournament. We want to get in there. We want to compete into that 2nd and 3rd day, and then hopefully you get into the 4th and 5th day. But at the same time, I think it comes with depth. So for us, I think we have that depth this year because I mean we started the season so strong last year, like you just mentioned, and then, you know, you kind of have a drop off in guys, whether it be to injury or grades and whatnot. But this year we're excited for this group. We like who we have coming in. We like our returners, and you know, we want to make a run.
So here we sit mid-August. As you looked at the guys on the ice, and you've mostly seen them on paper, I'm guessing, but what's going to be the strength of this team in your estimation as you look right now?
Speed and skill. That's kind of what our program's been. It's what we've been built on. That's what we preach. It fits our systems well. So speed. Obviously we don't always have a lot of size, but we have a lot of smart guys. We also have good goaltending, and I think that's going to be crucial for us again this year with our returning goalie in Eric Idison, and then also our new goalie in Darian Lorang.
So you've had a chance to really see much of the action out here right now, but are there a couple numbers that you saw and put a check mark by? I know you told me off camera you saw somebody that was a walk-on that kind of checked the box for you.
We did, and we were pleasantly surprised with the talent that we had come out, whether it be guys that we knew that were going to come, or like you said, one that was a bit of a diamond in the rough. So it just goes back to kind of showing the city is kind of expanding itself with the local players, and at the same time attracting other walk-on type guys.
Okay, let's take the big picture look. The schedule's out. You know what lies ahead of you. Where does it begins early, right, with some big games in the West. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys play in the West. Tell us what you thought about the schedule when it first all came together.
I think we like the fact that we're an independent program. We don't have to play in a league. We get to pick the teams that we want to be involved with, whether it be traveling there or having them come to Vegas. So for us, I think we put it together so it's always going to be competitive night in and night out. And, Z does a really good job of that. And so there isn't any part of the schedule that I'm like, this is going to be an easy stretch for us by any means. I think that every game is going to be important for us, and we know how crucial it is for seeding purposes. And, obviously you take it 1 week at a time, one game at a time. But if you're looking long term, we fully expect to be in the national tournament, and every game matters to figure out where we want to be slotted. And we definitely don't want to be in that playing game this year.
When you talk about the ACHA D1, like you said, you've had 3 years now to experience it, know what it's all about, but it's difficult and it's different, right? Because you play 2-3 game weekends a lot of the time, and then all of a sudden the tournament comes, you get in by basically your wins and losses and strength of competition. Then all of a sudden the tournament comes and it's one and done. So you could travel to Dallas, Texas, like you say, get a play-in game, have to get through that, and then the next day you're done. What's the mentality on that, and how do you preach that to the guys as to play the season, but yet you play it one game at a time all the way through?
It's a really hard tournament to win, as you just mentioned. I mean, it's got to be one of the hardest tournaments to win in all of hockey, just for the simple aspect of it. It is one and done, and they are back-to-back games. You play one game, and then the next day you're going again. So for us, I think last year we really preached it towards the end of the year, especially the last 5 or 6 games. You really want to prep mentally that, hey, these last 5 or 6 games, it's just like nationals. We want to win all 5 of these games because you're going to have to win 4 or 5 games in a row to win the national tournament. So when we have those type of stretches, whether it be coming off a loss or whatever it may be, we always want to put together like a 4 to 5 game stretch that we believe is, crucial for us to get that mental preparation to use that for the national championship experience.
Okay, speaking of this program and growing, I'll let you go on this because I know you got other things to do, but Cody Williams signed a professional contract. I know that's got to mean something to you because you know Cody pretty well, being a Vegas guy, but what does it say about your program and the amount of talent that you're producing here that somebody can sign a professional contract, albeit in Europe?
We're really happy for Cody. I mean, he really earned it. He was our first 4-year guy here with Anthony and I, and he obviously scored a bunch of goals, but at the same time, he has a great work ethic on and off the ice. It just goes to show that our program, I think, can help produce pro-level talent. Just by the simple fact of how we run it every day with the practice schedule and workouts off the ice and the training regimen and everything like that. So we want to make sure that we're selling kids on that opportunity after college to be able to play professionally.
All right, I lied to you. We're going to finish it up because I always got to ask you what you went through on October 1, and now things have really healed, and this city is incredible. I've told you that over and over again, but how are you doing physically? How is the city doing? How are things doing in Las Vegas?
The city itself is just expanding like crazy. Obviously, you have the Raiders coming here in 2 years, but it seems like every day they're building new homes and new businesses are coming here. So, I mean, it's definitely a city that has a ton of potential, like always. Me personally, I'm good. I'm just excited excited for hockey to come back. So, I mean, I think that overall, though, things are great here.
Nick, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for stepping in for us. I know you got other things you got to do, but we'll see you in a couple of weeks, and then we'll see you all season long as UNLV tries to make that push to a national title and bring it back here to the city.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
All right, welcome back in, hockey fans in the Desert Southwest. It's Hockey Talk in the Desert Southwest. We colored this one a little black and scarlet and gray and all the good stuff from UNLV. We've been here all day. We had the coach, we had assistant coach. We bringing in some senior players. Boss ASSAF is with me. I can see the Golden Knights hats, so I still know the proud of Vegas hockey. But tell me about this year. What's going to be different this year than in the past?
I mean, we have a lot of young guys. I think they're ready to go, to start their college career.
Right.
So I think they're going to be very full of energy, and hopefully we have a good bond this year. I think we have a lot of good guys that have good attitudes coming into the season. I think that'll definitely take over the season and hopefully put us in the right spot this year, chemistry-wise. So I think that's the biggest thing.
I talked to your coaches, and I'm going to ask you the same question. Is when I looked at the Golden Knights this year, and they finished that season with San Jose, and I talked to the players afterwards in their kind of exit interviews, they all seemed like they wanted to get back on the ice the next day, like they had just a bittersweet taste in their mouth. I saw you guys win in Chicago, and then you go to the national tournament. You didn't finish where you want because you didn't come home with a national title. Did you guys have that same fire where you just like, hey, let's get back on the ice and start playing games?
Yeah, I think we definitely did. I know I for sure did. This is my senior year now, so I think I definitely came in with a better attitude. I was ready. I was a little hungrier to play this year, more so than last year. And I think hopefully with a lot of new guys, it'll be a little bit different. But I think with the returning people, it'll for sure be a hungrier feeling.
You've seen this program for a few years now, your senior year. And when I walked in today, I was kind of shocked because I didn't expect to see that many guys on the ice. Were you expecting to see that many guys trying out?
Honestly, no. I expected I would be on the ice too. I didn't even have to play. Yeah, I got lucky today. I didn't really have to get shown up by some guys walking on. But, I didn't. It was a great turnout. You never really expect that, especially for an open tryout. So we got really lucky. I think there was better talent from walk-ons. I think that was very interesting to see. You don't really see good talent from walk-ons usually, but I think that was a good plus.
Coach Greener told me that he thinks this year he's got a lot of depth. I'm guessing you're seeing that too. And more importantly, how important is depth to win at the ACHA D1 level?
It's huge. Come the end of the season, you're tired. Especially if you're a top guy, you want to be able to sit on the bench and rest up while and be able to trust the people on the back end or be able to trust the other guys on the ice wholeheartedly. The worst feeling is if you are sitting on the bench and you're a top player or you have a lot of ice time or any of those reasons and someone goes on the ice and you're worried. That's the biggest thing. You don't want to be worried about having guys on the ice at any point in the game. You should be comfortable with everybody playing.
Two things that I see in that regard is your top six usually hold their own against anybody's top six, and that's pretty much on every team. It's the next six, right, forwards especially, that if they can hold their own or beat the other team's next six, you're pretty successful. But also, the specialty teams play a big part of it. If you get some rest, if you get on a power play, or you get an extended power play or penalty kill, you're ready to go for that, right?
Oh, always. I think the best feeling is when you're on a power play and you get your shot or, you're able to be out there and, show people the skill that you can take advantage of, that advantage.
Okay, I know you played with Cody Williams a lot. Cody signs a pro contract and leaves for Europe. What were your thoughts, and did you think that you'd ever see a UNLV player taking that step? I know you had Easy take a step up and go to NCAA, but how cool is that to see one of your guys sign a professional contract in the sport that you love?
Cody Williams is probably one of my best buds. I'm so happy for the guy. He actually plays where I want to play. I want to go to France and play. But, no, I'm so happy for that kid. That kid loves the game so much. He was a huge part of our program. That was one of the kids that you could look to at any moment in time, and it was probably the weirdest thing not seeing him skate today.
So when we look at UNLV hockey over the years, and you're on campus, as a student, what's the chatter on campus? Is UNLV hockey starting to gain some attention? Do people see your jackets and your hats and go like, hey, there's a hockey program here?
Yeah, I think the difference from my first year was we have a hockey team to now it's, you see a lot of kids walking around with the UNLV sweaters. The UNLV hockey sweaters are pretty big, actually. It's kind of really cool.
Right.
I think it's super cool that it's grown. We win a lot of games. We have a good program. We pack the rink here all the time, so I think it's really a big plus that the sport has grown so much thanks to the Knights and everything. But, it's crazy to see how many Vegas people just want to come see hockey. So.
All right, let's close things out by letting you have a chance to talk to the UNLV faithful that are watching. Tell them what they can expect out of this team and why they need to be out here in big numbers, and especially with your home schedule. It's pretty nice home schedule you got set up. So go ahead and shout out to your peeps here in Vegas.
The only thing I can say is come support. I know I'm just a whole mess of fun when I'm on the ice. I like to mess around too much, maybe. But no, I love when everybody comes and supports. I hope everybody comes out and, really gives us the support that we need and we want, just so we can make the game grow, just in Vegas in general. So.
And if you're coming out, look for number 25 again, all right? He's going to be on the defensive core, moving the puck, taking the big hits, dishing out the big hits. Boss ASSAF, thanks for your time. We'll see you in a couple of weeks when I come back up here for another week to see where we're at after the scrimmage.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, welcome back in, hockey fans of Desert Southwest. We had black jersey or sweatshirt. We have red now, so it's scarlet, gray, black, whatever you want to call it. It's a UNLV hockey talk in the Desert Southwest. Eric Williams with me, a junior this year, Vegas native, got the Golden Knights hat on. Tell me about hockey in Vegas.
It's grown tremendously the past couple of years, not just from the Knights, but youth and college and everything. Before we had maybe 2 programs in town, and now there's a bunch of different learn to skate programs, and we have the good college program out here, the UNLV, and drawing a lot of fans, and I think it's really becoming a hockey community.
What's it been for you to play here at home at a high level of hockey at ACHA D1 level? What's the feeling been like for you?
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Originally growing up, you didn't think you'd be able to do that, coming from Vegas especially, but with the program growing and then everything that they've done for the program here, it's been nice to come back home and get the support that we do and play in front of family and friends that may not have been able to see you play if, back in the day when the program wasn't as good as it is now.
When you look at the growth of the program, and I think nothing more evident today than the number of guys that were on the ice for the tryout part of it, you're getting in conditioning, then I know you got your hockey tournament to do the fundraiser, but then things get real, right? How important is that numbers game to producing great competition and producing a great lineup?
It's important. It's always nice to have more than enough people show up because you can draw the
Right.
draw the best out of them, and it's competition. When there's less guys, it might not be as big of a competition for fighting for spots, but when guys show up in the numbers like they did today, and they're all competing for spots out there, it's good because then it kind of helps the team not only gel but also compete with each other to make each other better.
All right, I'm going to give you a 2-part question that ties into to Vegas, UNLV, and pride on the ice. Let's call it that. Cody Williams, Vegas kid, signs a professional contract. Did you think at this point in your hockey career that you were going to see a UNLV player sign a professional contract?
Maybe a couple years ago, maybe not, but the last couple years the program's really jumped up, and I'm happy for the kid. He's a great kid, great attitude, great teammate. I can't be anything but proud of him for what he's done, and not just for UNLV, but for himself as well.
All right, I saw a big French smile outside the door when I saw Jake Sachs today, and you know what Jake went through last year with the horrific injury that he took up in North Dakota and the concussions that he's dealt with, and he's coming back. And what does that say to this program where he wants to be back on the ice so badly that he's willing to put that all on the line?
It just kind of shows what the program does for people. Not only is giving us a chance to play, but the bonds you make with the teammates and all that, and you miss not coming to the rink when you're hurt, and you miss the guys, and you miss being on the ice every morning, and just there's something that's missing when you're not playing.
You got a junior year and a senior year. I know we talked off camera about the fact that you like to host a couple of national championships before you leave here, but how important is that? Is that the next step in this program?
Yeah, definitely. We went to Chicago last year, won the tournament out there at Thanksgiving, and next step's the national championship. So I think we have a good squad this year that can do that, and it'd be nice to win it at least once before I'm done here, but twice would be even better.
Let's wrap it up by you telling me what you saw at the national tournament this year and what you took away from it to build for winning that thing this year.
I think you just you see all the teams and all the depth they have, and all the teams there are good. They can compete with each other and play with each other, and so I think the squad we have coming in this year, we're gonna have some more depth, and I think we'll have a good chance to make a run for it.
All right, I gave your teammate a chance, your chance. What do you got to tell the UNLV faithful to come on out here and support your program all season long?
We appreciate it more than you guys know, and all the support that we get's incredible. And come out and have some fun. We'll put on a good show for you.
All right, Eric, appreciate your time. I guess I'm supposed to call you Moose. That's what that's the coach says. Call him Moose. I'm going like, okay, well, we'll do that informally. But Moose, go get him this year, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks to see what it's like after that scrimmage.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
All right, welcome back in, hockey fans in the desert Southwest. We left the great state of Arizona. We came to the great state of Nevada. We're here at City National Arena talking UNLV Rebel Hockey. What a great show. I mean, we had some great guests today. We had head coach Anthony VIGNIERI Greenener join us. Assistant coach Nick ROBONE joined us. We also had a couple of players. We had boss ASSAF and Eric Williams step in. One senior, one junior. Tell us a little bit about what they expected for UNLV hockey. And I can tell you right now, folks, I've never been more excited for an ACHA season than this one. We have UNLV, we've got Grand Canyon, we've got U of A, and we've got ASU all competing within our coverage area in the desert Southwest. I can't tell you how excited I am to watch this season kick off here in about just a little over a month. I think we have a first game going on. So thanks for tuning in today. I want to say thank you to our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you guys. We always have room for more, so if you want to jump on board, contact us at IcetimeHockeySW.com. Watch it, like it, move on to our social media pages. Very proud to say that we just reached 2,000 followers today on Twitter. We're building our Instagram as well, IcetimeSW, and certainly go to YouTube. Over 500 videos in the last 5 years are up on YouTube right now, so I want to get everybody a chance to get out there. IcetimeSW for our social media, IcetimeHockeySW.com. Thank you to College Bar and Grill for stepping up like they always do. Always thank you to M-Drive for bringing us the best product in the world, in my estimation, on recovery at the M-Drive. And also our friends over at OxyPow. Without Jay and OxyPow, we wouldn't have a fantastic Friday, and we'd have a very difficult time doing our shows. So Jay, big shout out to you and OxyPow. Keep bringing the stuff that gets the stink out. Until next week, I'm Scott Strande, your host. We will see you next week back in Arizona, hopefully talking a little ASU NCAA hockey. And the week after that, we're back in Vegas because it's almost time for the start of the NHL season. We've got two great teams here in our coverage area. We've got the Vegas Golden Knights and the Arizona Coyotes, who I'm saying are going to be two of the teams standing in the end when there's a Western Conference champion determined. So that's it from City National Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week on Hockey Talks in the Desert Southwest.